and welcome to this episode of High Achievers, and I'm so glad that you could find time to join me. I'm your host, Musonda, and today I get to meet Nkhonde Fumbeshi, who is a serial entrepreneur. She is a journalist, she is a lawyer, and she is a climate change advocate. She wears many hats basically, and we will get to know more about her. She'll be sharing her life story and her life experience on this particular edition. Hello, Kanso.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, and I'm just so happy that you could make time. I know you've been busy. It's been hard to get you. So I'm so excited about today. But to get the show started, first things first, who's Kanso Nkhonde? How do you describe yourself?
Well, thank you so much for having me on this program, first of all. And secondly, to answer your question, Nkhonde is just a simple girl from the Copper Belt. I am a lawyer. I am an entrepreneur and very, very self-driven. I consider myself as someone that is very, very passionate, especially when it comes to empowering women and just generally empowering others. Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into the details of your career, your life now, let's get back to your childhood. What was your childhood like? What sort of family do you come from?
Okay, so I come from a very neat family, a family of 3. That's 2 boys, 1 girl. I was brought up on the Copper Belt. Both mother and father were married. So I was brought up in a very, very stable home. My parents were entrepreneurs, and that is where I get it from. Specifically, my father. I think I never knew a payday. You know, most of my friends would be like, when month end comes, they have all these things. For me, there was never a month end. Every day was just like any other day. Yeah, so as a family, we grew up in very neat, and we were very, very close. My father made sure that he instilled values, especially education. He told me you have to be educated because education is something that will set you apart from everyone else. Education is something that will lift you from where you are to the next level. Yeah, and my mother was a businesswoman, housewife. Yeah, so she did her part, spent most of her time at home to just ensure that I grew up, because I was the only girl, I grew up in a more stable environment. Yes.
Do you have any childhood memories that stand out when you look back?
Yeah, quite a number. I have very, very fond memories of my childhood, and because we are in this festive period, I remember every time it was Christmas, would have Christmas parties, would have New Year's parties, would go for, at one point when I was very young, there was a circus that came, and I had an opportunity to ride on an elephant, and I didn't. So I told myself, next time a circus is coming to Zambia, I'll ride on an elephant. And it never came, and it's never come. Yeah, so those are some of the fond memories that I have of my childhood. They're quite a number, but we'll be here the whole day if I start just talking about them.
Tell us about the schools that you went to.
Okay, so like I said, I grew up on the Copper Belt, and specifically in Ndola. I started my primary school at Ndola Modern High School at that time. I don't know if it's still there. And then I moved on to Fumbeshi Secondary School. So this is a school where we used to wear yellow uniforms. Yes, and that really used to annoy me because most of our friends would mock us because of the yellow uniforms, but it was an amazing school. After that, I moved on to university. I went to the University of Zambia to study mass communication. I studied mass communication because basically my father was in the media, and he did inspire that so much. And the other thing that he used to say was that do a course that will enable you to work on your own, something that will get you into an entrepreneurial space. And so I did mass communication. But mass communication was not my first choice. My first choice was to study law. Yeah, but because at that point, now people are lucky because you can just get up from high school and graduate from high school and say you're going to be a lawyer. For us then, you had to fight for, I think, about 45 spaces into law school at the University of Zambia. So I didn't make the points in my second year. In my third year, I made the points. And then I went back to my father. I told him, look, I want to go back. I want to repeat my year and go into law school. And my father refused. And he said, look, when you're done with this and when you start working, you'll be able to take yourself back to school. And because I really wanted it so much, at a later stage, after working for quite some time, I decided to go back to school. I decided to go to the University of Lusaka to study law. Yeah. After that, I've done some continuous education. I am currently, although I'm technically done, doing legislative drafting from Ziali. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, nice. Tell me about your experience in uni. What was it like? Others say it's like your make or break. Was it the same for you?
Life for me in uni really started on a high note. When I got to university, I got into a group of friends that it was all about partying, right? So my first week, there was that Unza night where a bus comes, it takes you out to Zenon. At that time, it was Zenon. Yeah, and I did take part in that. But after some realization, I thought that was not my life. I had to change course. I had to change the type of friends that I was hanging out with, because it wasn't a lifestyle that I really wanted to stick to. So my life was on a high note, but I did tone down. I did get to realize that I was at school to study. And of course, I'm not boasting, but I used to have some A's after toning down. I used to have some A's, some B's as well, getting recognition of being one of the good performing students overall. Yeah, during my first year, my second year, my third year, and my fourth year.
After uni, tell us about your first job. How was it like?
Okay, so after university, I didn't necessarily get into school because I was looking for this fancy job. Technically, when you're at University of Zambia, people will tell you all these fancy stories that when you start working, your first job, you'll be driving this big car. And for me, that was my vision. I was looking for this job that will automatically drop on me that big vehicle. And so I'll look at any job that will come my way. I'll be like, no, I don't want this. Does it have a car? Does it have a house? Does it have this? And so I didn't start work just then and there because I was quite picky. But over the years, and not so because I was quite picky, I also just got married immediately after graduating from the University of Zambia. And because of that, I was still quite picky. But over time, I toned down and I started working for Society for Family Health. That was more like a voluntary kind of job that I got. I used to work technically for free. I got there, I was behind the cameras. I was behind the still cameras, the video cameras, because I used to document the work that Society for Family Health used to do. Thereafter, I got a call from one of the government institutions, and the boss at that government institution asked me, would you like to come? I was like, yeah, what does the job offer? The salary was extremely low. And he asked me, and are you sure you want to come? I said, yeah, I can come. So when I went to tell the late Dr. Manasseh Piri then, because that was my boss at Society for Family Health, he asked me, are you sure you want to go? I said, yes, it's more stable. You know how government jobs are. It's more stable. So let me go. When I went there, it was an interesting job. That is the job that I consider as my first job. I worked in government for about 7 years, and thereafter I went into the entrepreneurial space. It was very interesting. It's a job that I consider as something that molded me, that grew me to just even achieve things that I have achieved now.
Earlier you spoke of your expectations just after uni. So what brought you back to life and now just think, okay, this is where I need to start from. This is the reality.
So reality hit, not because I needed the income, But because I had seen that most of my friends that started from somewhere now were progressing, okay, and I wasn't, I was just at the same level, unemployed without experience. That made me realize that whatever job that I want, I need to have some experience, okay? And that is something that, sometimes would sit with my friends and we're joking, look at this job. And they're looking for experience. They want someone who's aged between 25 and 30. Where are they going to get the experience? And this is something that I also urge the young people that, look, get whatever job that is coming your way. It be free. If you have a roof under you, you have someone that's sponsoring you with food, go on, get some experience. So the experience part is something that toned me down and said, look, you have to go out there, you have to take whatever is on the table so that you can progress from where you are to where you want to go. Mm-hmm.
And what advice do you have for young people who are probably in a similar setup? They're in uni or they're done with uni, and it's difficult for them to get back to reality.
To the young person that is watching this interview, life is about stages. Nothing comes in a hurry. I know we as young people, especially in this environment, we are looking for a quick fix, something that is very, very fast. Our Gen Z are looking for quick fixes. We call them sometimes the microwave generation. They want things to happen quickly. But again, as the older generation, we are now trying to see how we embrace them, how we tell them that, yes, you have these aspirations, but it is one step at a time. It's like climbing a ladder. You can't climb a ladder from the top. You have to start somewhere. That has to be the first step, the second step, the third step, up until you reach the last step. So it's take it easy, take life as it comes, one step at a time. But I'm not saying you shouldn't be ambitious. Be ambitious, have your dreams lined up, stick to the plan, and continue moving.
So after your first job, which was the one that you consider your first job, which is the government job, what was next for you?
So when I was at the government job that I had, that is when I started I decided to actively step out and start a media business. That is when Money FM Business Radio was born at that time. So I realized that I couldn't handle both. The job that I had was very, very demanding, and the business was just starting. So then the management was something that was difficult. So I had a choice to either let my investment rot or get on it and start building the investment. So I gave notice to stop so that I could concentrate on business. And because I have been technically in entrepreneurship, so I really had the faith that, look, I can shift and get into business full time.
I know that you studied mass comm, but not every person that studies mass comm gets to obviously form a radio station, Money FM. Was that like a long-term vision that you had? What inspired you?
To the head of department, we used to have people coming from the University of Zambia, coming from Nkhonde, and you find that the kind of training that you get from the University of Zambia is not journalistic training. Rarely do you get journalistic training, maybe now, but during my time, you would technically be taught how to be a boss. So I had always dreamed of getting into the media, getting behind the scene, because remember I told you that my father was a media entrepreneur, and so we used to make soaps. One of the first soaps that appeared on MultiChoice then was a production of my father. So that really, really inspired me, and he had insisted that whatever course you do should be able to make you stand on your own, have a business of some sort. And so that was something that drove me, that, look, you need to have a business, and an opportunity came. And so I grabbed it at that time. Now I feel I have done enough in the media space, in actively running the radio station. So I'm out of running the radio station now. Yeah.
Okay. After your radio experience, you decided to do law. Tell us about that.
So you'd be interested to note that when I was working for the government institution, I was basically in school. I was studying law. And so actually my plan, which may not have been God's plan, was to stay in there, was to stay in the institution up until, kingdom come. Because then it looked like it's a job that is very stable for a mother like me who wants to grow the family and not move around a lot. So that was my plan. My plan was that I'm going to stay in there, get into Ziadi, finish my Ziadi, and just continue staying there. But an opportunity came, something that I had always dreamt of. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this. Shall I stay here? But because I'm a believer, and I believe that whatever path you take, if God has a plan for you, He'll still bring you back, right? And so as I was running the radio station at some point, I also went back, and that was just in the infancy of the business. I decided to go back and study law. And interestingly, I didn't want to go to Ziadi because I was like, oof, I'm tired with uni and I don't want to just go straight. So a friend of mine got a form. She paid quite a lump sum, 1,200 kwacha. She bought a form for me and actually came to my office and said, Nkhonde, you are applying for this job, for going to Ziadi. I said, but how am I going to manage? I have this, I have that, I have that. So she said, just try. Even when I was going there, I was very, very scared. So I decided, okay, let's try this. Let's see how it will go. And other than the hassles of balancing everything, family, husband, children, work, and just generally the life pressure, it was something that was rewarding at the end of the day.
I like the fact that you talk about having had fear as you went into Ziali, because I had a conversation with a lawyer on this particular program, and he told me a lot of people go there with like a defeated mindset. Was it the same for you? Like, now when you look back, would you have done things different? What was the experience like?
That is very true. I personally went there with a defeated mindset, but I was fortunate that one of my principals, my mentor, sat me down, and that's Mr. Stephen Lungu, and told me, do you know, because he fondly calls me Mrs. Fumbeshi, he says, Mrs. Fumbeshi, I know you're going to Ziadi, and I can see that you're scared because you're asking too many questions. You have to hit the ground running. I asked him, what do you mean? The minute you get there, start studying. You'll thank me later. And he took me through, he told me all these stories that we are scared about. For his course, he told me, all you have to do is when you get into court, make sure you're observing what is done, because that is actually what you'll be learning. Through the time I was there, because I used to balance my work, running the business, my children, at one point again he sat me down and he told me, do you know that you, at the time that results come, it will be very shameful for you because you're juggling so many things. I was like, wow. At that moment it was a wake-up call. I was like, what will people think? Not that I'm really worried about what people will think, but this is something that I told God. I was like, God, you know what? I don't have time. I don't have time to do this over and over again. I'm going to do my part. Okay, I will study. I will put in whatever I can. And because I've been spoken to that I should strip myself of that fear, let me see how this goes. And so, yeah, I went right through it. When I did my first semester, my mid-semester exams, I passed 9 and failed 1. And that one was accounts, because I am not the lover of math.
Those are some good results.
Yeah.
At that point, did you feel motivated now?
Yes. Because when he came, when Mr. Lungu came, he asked me, how many do you think you've passed? I was like, I don't know, because frankly, I don't know what I don't know. Like, I can't say 9, I can't say 8, I can't say 1. Because I wouldn't even be surprised if I only passed in 1, because The taste is what determines. So yeah, it was very, very motivating for me. Yeah.
And when the final results came?
When the final results came, actually what I was told was that those who actually passed 9 out of 10, when the final results come, they fail.
So that gave you
So the fear, really at one point in my life, I was driven by fear. And I always say fear can either make you scared, make you lose.
To make you more brave, and then now you
no, because every exam comes differently.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the fear that I got from the beginning and in the middle drove me because I didn't relax. I was scared again that what if I fail? To be very, very embarrassing. Very embarrassing and also very tedious for me to go back. Yeah. So fear, I think, I say fear can either drive you or it can push you. Yeah, so it depends which way you want to go. Face, what do they call? Face your problem or move away from it, run. So I chose to face my problem scared as I was. Yeah.
Okay. After Ziali?
So after Ziali, I decided to, I don't know if I've even mentioned, so when results came out, I passed on first attempt.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
On first attempt?
Yes, I did. I did pass.
Weren't you the only one?
No. At that time, we were about 20.
That passed on first attempt?
Yes.
That was a good number.
It was a good number, but still the percentage was not so good. But it was a good number. At least quite a number of us did.
And what was your reaction then?
I was shocked. I was shocked, but happy, very relieved that at least I didn't have to do that again. Yeah. Yeah. So there, after Ziari, I decided to get into full-time practice.
Let's stick around on the Ziali part, because I mean, not a lot of people pass on first attempt. So for someone watching and they probably enrolled November, right? For Ziali, what tips are you sharing with them? The fear that we go through, the preconceived mindset. When you get there, you want to assimilate everything and get material here, get things here, listen to this person, give you tips. But at every particular moment, the lecturers will be different. Your assimilation will be different. Attend class. Always make sure that you're in class, because in class, that is where everything happens. When you're out of class, you just read the notes. You won't hear the tips that the lecturers will give you. But most importantly, get to study. You write half a page on your first day study. Second day study. I remember a few friends of mine and I would remain from the first day. Would remain even for 30 minutes. We just discuss, how did you understand that? And after we discuss, we go back to our homes, because we were married and there was never a time that after you leave Ziari, you're going to study at home. You have a family waiting for you, a family that's waiting for you to get into your shoes as a mommy, to get into your shoes as a wife, and also to get into your shoes as a boss. So there was never time. Time is very limited. So whatever time that you have, use it. So you didn't even have the chance to zero the nights. Those stories we've heard of, you really need to put in the hours.
No. You need to. I stripped off my social life. I think, off my social life for 9 months. I never knew social life. I used to miss weddings. I used to miss bridal showers, meetings. I remember I told the Reverend at our church then, I said, Reverend, I think on this point you're going to excuse me because I'm not going to be as active as you'd expect me to be. But it's only for 9 months. I was like, but how sure are you? Because even then, I think, was he the one that had also gone to Ziadi and didn't make it? He was like, how sure are you? I was like, I'll try. But it's only for 9 months. And for sure, it was for 9 months. I didn't have a social life. I used to put in a lot. Ziadi requires you to put in a lot because the courses are bulky. Each course is an individual course. And each lecturer will give you things that you're supposed to study at every moment. So you can't afford to just lay back and pile things And you know the way a human mind is. The more you see that things are a lot, you get scared. You won't even concentrate. You can't gun. The famous gunning, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. Not for Ziali.
Okay, nice. I hope somebody gets something.
I hope so. I hope so. There's no secret other than studying.
After Ziali, what was next for you?
After Ziali, here I am. After Ziali, full-time practice, and to date I'm practicing full-time. Yeah.
Tell us about your first experience in court.
So my first experience in court, I think I appeared in the commercial court. And I was fortunate that I had someone that was with me. But basically, I was taking the show on that matter. I was really, me and being scared, right? I was scared. First of all, we got in the car. For some reason, traffic stopped moving. And I heard that once you are late, you won't have it good. And technically, when you're late anywhere, it's not a good sign. Traffic couldn't move. And so that just blew up everything in me. But when we get there, the environment was so relaxing. And my principal told me that, Mrs. Fumbeshi, how many meetings have you attended? You have sat with CEOs. You have interviewed CEOs before. You have been interviewed before. What are you going to be scared of? And I was like, yeah, that is true. I mean, I've spoken to the president before, so why should I be scared? Yeah, so it was a great experience.
After parting ways with Money FM, are you doing any other businesses? Earlier I said you're a serial entrepreneur. I know that in the past you've done so many other businesses, but tell us about business now.
Yes, actually there is Money Media that is still there. There is Fairwood Properties Limited, a company that my husband and I have run for quite some time, for over 14 years. There's also Innovo Consult, and this is a SME consulting company that a friend of mine and I are running to help SMEs just navigate as they are doing business. There's also Women Leaders for Climate Action, where we advocate for climate finance and just ensuring that as a country we are climate resilient.
You're juggling so many businesses. Other than that, you're a climate change advocate, you're a mommy, you're a lawyer, full-time. How are you juggling all this? You have more than 24 hours in a day?
For the first time, I think last week, when we were just winding up to the year, I was praying that I had 48 hours in a day because I had so much to do. But how do I keep up? I think mine is about prioritizing. I always say you can always make time for something that is important to you. So at every point, I've been fortunate that there has never been a point, or there has been, but at least there's a choice for me. There has never been a point where I have so many things that are competing. Even when those so many things that are competing, my job as a lawyer always comes first. Then the others, I'd rather send an apology elsewhere. But all in all, delegation, prioritizing, those two are core to me. There are things that I'll have to delegate, that I need to do this and this and this. So this one can be given to this person to do this. And this can be handled by myself. Setting up systems as well. It's important that systems are set so that when you are not there, people know exactly what should be done.
I know you make mention that obviously certain times you have to send apologies for the other staff, and you put your business as a lawyer as priority or as first, but that's definitely obviously something that you can't do for family, send out an apology. So that brings me to my next question. Do you think somebody is able to create a work-life balance, and is that something that you've managed to do?
Argumentably, no. There's nothing like balance. There's integration. You just integrate what is requiring your priority. Even family has to know that at this point, we are in critical moments. You will not see mommy because mommy is upstairs working, or mommy is in her office. Today she won't come early because she has to attend to work. So there's no work-life balance. It's just what requires your time at that particular moment. Is it work? And work, is it pressuring? If it's pressuring, attend to work. Family, attend to family. There are times that your family would need you, but there are times that you can't also be there for family, because family then feeds into the job, and the job also, then you need to be mentally stable for you to be a good employee, for you to be a good lawyer. You need to have a stable family. So really there isn't a balance but an integration. You just integrate everything and see where you prioritize your time and what needs to be prioritized at a specific time.
Okay, let's talk about family. Tell us about your family now. I know you obviously spoke about your kids at some point, but you didn't go into detail. How many kids do you have? Are you married? And how do you balance?
Okay, so I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 4 boys and 2 girls. And not 4 boys. Did I say 4 boys? 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. Oh my goodness, I think I need 2 more.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes, I have 2 girls and 2 boys. One is in university. The last one is turning 9. Yes, I am very much married to a very, very handsome man, very, very supportive. He's been very, very instrumental, and basically he's been my mentor. Yeah, when I can't be there for the children, he's always there for them. When I can't be there for myself, he's always there for me. Yeah, so it's been a village that has been built to look after my children. I have not done it alone. I've had support of my mother, who's been instrumental also in the upbringing of my children. There were times, my previous job, that I would have to travel like 3 weeks in each month. So meaning I'd only be home for a week. And my mother was always there for a period of, I think, 8 years of her life. I stole 8 years of her life just for her to support me. But overall, yeah, that's about my family life. Lovely children, very understanding. I make time for them. Yes, very, very intentional. When they're on holiday, that is something that I'm intentional about, that I have to spend time with them. I have to hear them. I have to help them where need be. One of my children decided to author a book. I think she said, "Mommy, Daddy, I want to write a book." And we're like, wow, that was too much work. The publishing started, but that required me to be for her all the time, because then I had to help her with the marketing. I had to make sure that she enters those the offices that she cannot ordinarily enter. So meaning that I had to be there. "Oh, hello, my daughter would like to visit your office. She would like to present a book and tell you about her story. Are you available?" "Oh, yes, come." And when you do that, they're expecting that you have to be present. So that required a bit more of sacrifice, putting time aside for my daughter, that, "Look, you're going to do everything, but I will be there for you. I will support you wherever I can. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go?" And she would list down, and she says, "This is where I want to be." But it didn't come at no sacrifice. It came at a sacrifice. But I believe that I have to be there for my kids.
When you're not being mommy, when you're not being a lawyer, when you're not being an entrepreneur, a climate change advocate, what are you doing in your free time?
You know, sometimes it's a struggle, because you're used to do all these so many things. But in my free time, I like to have a very relaxing time. I cook. I would do a meal, and just seeing people enjoy eating the meal, that would be very nice. Most importantly, I like spending time unwinding with my family. A good movie does for me as well, where I can have a good laugh, where I can have some adrenaline running. Yeah, so I like spending time with my family, unwinding as well. And I like writing. Yeah, If I'm very free, I like jotting down quite a lot of things that are just backed up in my iPad. Yeah, and hopefully one day I'll be able to publish them.
Oh, nice. So there's still the journalist in you.
Yes. The journalist is very much in me. And sometimes I would look at a story and I'm like, but why didn't you look at it the other way? And looking at the shot and I'm like, why don't you push your camera on the other side? So much the journalist person in me is still there.
When you look back, what are some of your moments of accomplishment?
For me, I think every step of my journey has been a stepping stone to where I am today. Every job that I have taken up, every setback that I have had has been something that has pushed me. Being an entrepreneur has not been something that is easy. Sometimes you'll be eyeing something, before you know it, it's gone. You'll be worried where the next paycheck for your workers will come, but definitely it does come through. That has really taught me resilience, that you have to be resilient. Things happen, but you quickly pick yourself up and start moving. Yeah, so for me, most of the experiences, I can't name one basically, but what I know is that I use most of my experiences to just step up and see what things I need to change in my space, what strategies I need to realign, what plans I need to change, what plans I need to put in place for me to move on to the next stage.
From your story so far, obviously, I can tell that you're spiritual. I can tell that you're determined. You've managed to successfully change career. You're juggling businesses. But for somebody that's watching and they know you, what do you think would shock them about you that they don't know?
They may not know that, except for those that would watch my status, but they may not know that I can do 5,000 skips, jump rope. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm on the route to doing 10,000 skips in a moment.
Oh, at a go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's your daily exercise?
Yes. I exercise, I jump rope every day.
So you're actually a fitness enthusiast?
Yes, I am very enthusiastic when it comes to fitness, but I'm not so patient. So meaning that I like fast-paced fitness activities. So when I was looking for something that I can commit to, I found that skipping was the easiest because I can do 5,000 skips in about 30 minutes, which is very good for me. If I want to do, say, 1,500 skips, it will only take me 10 minutes. So that is very quick for me. It doesn't take up so much of my time.
Okay.
Yeah, because time is of essence for me. Yeah, I value my time, so I don't want to spend so much time on one thing. I become impatient. Yeah.
If you're given a chance to impact the world or the community, how do you think you would do that?
You know, one thing about me, I love creating an impact for others. I want to see other people happy. I want to see our gender, especially the female gender, have a seat at the table. The female gender change the narrative. And on top of that, I want to see the female gender work hard. That nothing comes on a silver platter. You have to work hard. So you need to put in something. It is not just enough to say you're female. Female has to come with hard work. And so mine is just to drive change. I am a gender activist as well. I want to see that each woman has got a space, each woman has got an opportunity just to just say something about themselves. They have to be given a chance. Each person has to be given a chance for you to know their potential. So if I have to do something, I'll probably give a chance to someone that hasn't done something before, to just let them show themselves, show their potential. And by that, obviously, we'll see how great someone is.
If you weren't a lawyer, if you weren't a journalist, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing? That's a very good question and very tricky coming from you. I think I would probably be I'll be a content creator. I'll just stand in front of the camera and just start creating things. I still have that creative mind. I'll probably write so many books. I'll probably create so many magazines, content. I'll still be somehow connected to the media. I love the media.
What's your favorite book or podcast?
So one of my favorite books is Never Eat Alone. I am very new when it comes to networking. I like meeting new people each and every day. And I believe that meeting people, that is where opportunities come. So when I walk into a space, I want to meet someone new. So Never Eat Alone is a book by Keith Farazi or something. His name is quite complicated. So he emphasizes the fact that whatever you have a mentality of being able to share. You can't eat alone. Even when you have an opportunity, a business opportunity, you can't do that business opportunity alone. Learn to synergize, learn to work together with other people for you to just move. Opportunities come when you open up.
Yeah. What's the best advice you've ever received?
You rise by lifting others. There is no huge fulfillment that comes by lifting others. We've seen quite a number of people that have put other people ahead of them and they have benefited more. So my interaction with most people, the people that have gone ahead of me, is that lift someone. Find someone that you can help. Find someone that you can give an opportunity. That is the greatest advice that I have gotten. And I have seen that it is very, very beneficial when you lift others. First of all, you don't only gain their support, but you never eat alone. You always find someone to help you wherever you go.
Do you have a favorite mantra or quote that you live by?
Oh, wow. This is something that is really, really close to my heart. Most people, the common saying is that women don't support women. For me, as a woman, even if you don't support me, Mulenga, I will support you. So I mean, I will support you.
They are different names.
They are all the same. Yes, so one of the mantra that I live by, even if you do not support me, I will support you. Because I don't know what circumstance you are in. I don't know what you have faced. I don't know who's disappointed you. But the fact that no one has disappointed me and a whole lot of women have supported me to where I am today, I will support the next person. I will do whatever it takes, whatever is in my power to push you, to give you an opportunity if it is in my power. Yeah, that is my mantra.
Okay. As we come to the close of the show, for somebody watching, actually 2 questions. How do you define success?
For me, success is an ongoing journey. There's never a destination. Success is never a destination. When I set goals, when I set plans, and those plans are achievable. I'll give you an example. Mid this year, I said, I'm going to go back to school and start something. And when I did that, the completion of that was success. The completion of seeing something that I'm supporting is success. So the most important thing for me when it comes to success is that set goals. Because you only get to know that you have achieved something when you have timed it. When you have specified what exactly you want to achieve. Without that, then you can't define success.
What advice would you give to somebody that's watching the show about navigating through life and succeeding at it?
Okay, so life is not a one-size-fits-all. What works for one may not work for you. But the most important thing is that have a goal. Set plans. Be intentional with what you want to do. So once you're intentional, you'll be surprised at how much you achieve. Once you're intentional, you will not derail from your plan. Nothing will move you. Nothing will displace you because you know what your end goal is. So eyes on the ball, stay focused, you know what you want to do, and keep on moving. There will be setbacks, but those setbacks will only derail you just for a little while. Get back on your feet. I always give an example that have you ever tripped and fallen? When you trip and fall, just imagine that. When you trip and fall, how quickly do you pick yourself up? You just look around, and once you see that no one is looking, you get up. And so in life, you will trip, but quickly get yourself up and keep moving.
Thank you so much for your time and for sharing with us your story.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed the interview.
All right. So there you have it. I've just been speaking to Nkhonde Fumbeshi. She is a lawyer. She is a journalist. She is a climate change advocate. She is a serial entrepreneur. She's mommy. She's wife. She wears many different hats. And it was just nice of her to come and share her story. I do hope that you'll be able to join me next week at the same time for another interesting edition of High Achievers. Goodbye for now.